যার ধনা সম্পাদা গৌরাঙ্গেরা দুটি পদা যার ধনা সম্পাদা গৌরাঙ্গেরা দুটি পদা যার ধনা সম্পাদা से जाने भक्ति रस सार से जाने भक्ति रस सार से जाने भक्ति रस গৌরাঙ্গেরা মধুলীলা যার কারণে প্রবেশিলা হৃদয় নির্মলা ভেলতা হৃদয় নির্মলা ভেলতা যে গৌরাঙ্গে সঙ্গে গানে তারা হয় প্রেমাদয় যে গৌরাঙ্গে নাম লয় তারা হয় প্রেমাদয় যে গৌরাঙ্গে নাম লয় তারা হয় প্রেমাদয় যে গৌরাঙ্গে নাম লয় তারা হয় প্রেমাদয় তারে মুই যাই বলে হারি তারে মুই যাই বলে হারি গৌরাঙ্গ গুণেতে ঝুরে নিত্য লীলা তারে স্ফুরে গৌরাঙ্গ গুণেতে ঝুরে নিত্য লীলা তারে স্ফুরে से जाना भक्ति अधिकारी से जाने भक्ति अधिकारी গৌরাঙ্গেরা সঙ্গে গানে নিত্য সিদ্ধা করি মনে গৌরাঙ্গেরা সঙ্গে গানে নিত্য সিদ্ধা করি মনে से जाए ब्रजेंद्र सुतपाल से जाए ब्रजेंद्र सुतपाल गोशी गोरा गुंडला भूमि जे भजने चिंतामणि श्री गौरा मंडला भूमि जे भजने चिंतामणि श्री गौरा मंडला भूमि जय भजने चिंतामणि तारा होय ब्रज भूमि गौर प्रेम रशन से तरंग जय बडुबे गौर प्रेम रशन से तरंग जय बडुबे से राधा माधव अंतरंगा से राधा माधव अंतरंगा गृहे बाबा नित काके हादो रंग बोले ढाके गृहे बाबा नित काके हादो रंग बोले ढाके नरोत्तम मागे तारा संगा नरोत्तम मागे तारा संगा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे राजा गौरा निताय जय गौरा निताय जया गौरा निताय
In honor of the appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we probably have people here who don't know who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Anyone doesn't know who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Okay. Would you like to know why you came here or what's going on here tonight? Okay. Okay. Well, there's his picture, at least his deity form, and this chanting, congregational chanting, is called Sankirtan. And when all together, many persons very happily singing Krishna's holy name, this is Sankirtan. Here, try this. It just keeps moving, so just that little screw. He appeared, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared something like 530 years ago in the northeast part of India, in West Bengal, in the area called Navadvip, district of Nadia, Navadvip. And Lord Caitanya there, he began, after some years of student life and so forth, he conducted the congregational chanting of the holy name. First he began in the house of one great devotee, Srivas Pandit. And many, many Vaishnavas came, and it was so ecstatic. They decided, let's do this every night. And it was so ecstatic, it went on all night long until the sunrise the next morning. And they did that every night. And they still went to work. We're not going to stay up till tomorrow morning over here. But they did. Because it was prema sankirtan, loving ecstasy of chanting the Krishna's holy name. And then it became so ecstatic that it burst out of the courtyard of Srivas Thakur, Srivas Pandit. There's a whole series of events. And he went through all the marketplaces of Navadvip, right to the palace of the Muslim ruler, Chankazi. 10,000 angry Bengalis came to his doorstep. He hid under his bed. Lord Caitanya said, you can come out, it's okay. We won't harm you. And they discussed many topics, and Chankazi then blessed Lord Caitanya and his followers that from that day forward, the chanting of the holy name could go on without restriction throughout all of Navadvip. And any future descendants of his who would become similar rulers, they should also observe this principle. And so Lord Caitanya took the chanting throughout all the villages of Navadvip. And then another series of events took place, and Lord Caitanya took the renounced order of life and he left Navadvip. At the request of his mother, he went to Puri, on the east coast of India, kind of south of Navadvip. And then he traveled throughout all of India, doing the same thing, taking the holy name and giving the holy name in ecstatic love to many, 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 many millions and millions and millions. There's a lot of people in India. And then he foretold that this chanting will be heard in every town, in every village of the world, including Chicago. He didn't say including Chicago, but the world includes Chicago. And wherever else everybody is from, Russia and Africa and China and Timbuktu and you name it. every town and village. And on his order, his followers took that order upon their head and gave the chanting of the holy name to one and all. And eventually, one of those followers, in his Murti form up here, Srila Prabhupada, on the order of his spiritual master in that same line of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, took outside of India to the Western countries, and then from the Western countries to all over the world. And here we are, engaged in the congregational chanting of the holy name, started by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And this is a wonderful song by one of his wonderful followers, Narottama Das Thakur, who, well, one of our acharyas said, whatever he wrote, it's scripture. And here's what he wrote in this nice song. I'll read the translation. You heard the song. Anyone who has accepted the two lotus feet of Lord Caitanya as his only asset knows the true essence of devotional service. So Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita. Every year we say 5,000 years ago. The next year is 5,000 years ago. And the next year is 5,000 years ago. And we've been saying 5,000 years ago for 50 years. 5,000 years ago, Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita. And we have copies of Bhagavad Gita out in the bookstore and gift shop. He spoke Bhagavad Gita. They didn't have a MP3 recorder, but they had Vyasadeva, who has perfect recall without a recorder. He just has that kind of memory. And he wrote it down, what Krishna spoke to Arjuna. And the concluding instruction to Arjuna was, Sarva dharmam parityaja mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo moksha yishami ma suchaha. Krishna said to Arjuna, there are many varieties of religiosity, dharma, but they're all subservient to one principle of dharma, the paradharma, the supreme principle that all other activities should be subservient to. And what is that? Surrender to Krishna. Mam ekam sharanam. Surrender unto Krishna alone. And Narottam Das Thakur is saying that anyone who has accepted the two lotus feet of Lord Caitanya as his only asset knows the true essence of devotional service. So there's a secret here. I'll tell you the secret. But it's the kind of secret that even if I tell you, unless you're taking shelter of Lord Caitanya's lotus feet, it'll remain a secret, so that's okay. It's that kind of secret. And that kind of secret is to take shelter of Lord Caitanya. He is so merciful, he will give you Krishna's shelter. You take shelter of Lord Caitanya, and he'll give you Krishna's shelter. I'll say it again. She liked it. You take shelter of Lord Caitanya, and he'll give you shelter of Krishna. Just like that. So one who has taken shelter of Lord Caitanya as his only asset, he knows the true essence of devotional service. Shelter of Krishna, loving devotion to Krishna. This is the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Those of you that are new, or kind of new, you see there's nicely decorated altar. You see our pujari over here on the right. He's setting up some little curtains because he's going to make some offerings of very nicely prepared food to offer to the deities. And when he makes that offering, he's going to ring a little bell, and he's going to say some prayers in Sanskrit. And I'll tell you what it is in Sanskrit, one of them, and what the meaning is in English. I don't know it in Russian. Sorry. Or Chinese or any of the other languages. So, Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gour Tushe Namaha. That's one of the mantras. It's a prayer to Lord Caitanya, who is the most merciful, munificent, or extremely merciful incarnation of the personality of Godhead, because he gives very freely. But no one else has ever even offered before transcendental love for Krishna like is found in Vrindavan. He gives that. So if you take shelter of the two lotus feet of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, you get that. And just wait till you taste the prasad. As soon as I finish, they'll be serving upstairs, and you'll taste in another form that ecstasy. The true essence of devotional service is the shelter of Lord Caitanya's two lotus feet. The heart of anyone who gives submissive oral reception to the pleasing and sweet pastimes of Lord Caitanya immediately becomes cleansed of all material contamination. If we had several hours, I would be very happy to narrate some of Lord Caitanya's wonderful pastimes. We don't have several hours, because Kirtan is coming after this. But let me think of a very nice pastime of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. I'm thinking of many nice pastimes. I'll have to select one. I'll tell you one. When Lord Caitanya began the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra in the house of Srivas Thakur, he only allowed persons who were pure. And that wasn't the largest percentage of people were not pure personalities, pure souls. They locked the gate. No, here in America we don't have gates, but those of you from India, you know, they lock the gate. Big wall, big gate, lock the gate. And the people outside, guess what? They were envious. What are they doing inside? We hear this loud calling and noise, and they're probably having a drunken party, drinking intoxication and screaming loudly and having wild party. And many things happened. They started spreading a rumor. You know, it's not new. Psst, psst, psst. Psst, psst, psst. Rumor. The king, the Muslim king, is so disturbed by this loud chanting, he's sending a boatload of soldiers to come here and destroy the whole of Navadweep. We should stop this. Take the house of Srivas Thakur, break it down into pieces and throw it into the Ganga. And things like that. So, you know how rumors are. When someone speaks a rumor about another person, the other person is going to hear. So Srivas Thakur heard, and he started feeling very much filled with anxiety, because he thought, the devotees are going to be in trouble because of me. It wasn't him, it was Lord Caitanya. And the chanting of the holy name was going on so enthusiastically that other people were envious, and maybe the devotees would be harmed. So he was in anxiety. And Lord Caitanya, being in the heart of every living entity, He knew that Srivas was in anxiety, and he wanted to take away that anxiety from his heart. So one morning, when he was going to the Ganga to take his bath, he saw on the opposite side of the Ganga some cows and some young boys taking care of the cows. And his mind became absorbed in Vrindavan. And he started calling out Krishna's name very loudly, in the mood of the cowherd boys calling for Krishna. And then suddenly he turned and he ran, full speed. He ran fast, towards the house of Srivas Pandit in that mood. It was early in the morning and Srivas Pandit was worshipping his deities at home, his Shalagram Shila, Damodar Shila specifically. And when Caitanya Mahaprabhu entered, he had the deity off the altar and it was placed on the floor on a table and he was doing his puja. And Lord Caitanya went and sat right on the altar where the deity was and said, Srivas, worship me. Srivas didn't know what to do. I'm worshiping my deity, and those that know about deity worship, you don't stop your deity worship in the middle of the deity worship, you continue, but worship me. He said, Srivas, I know you're in big anxiety about this rumor that the king is coming with a boatload of soldiers to destroy Navadvip. Srivas, I tell you, listen to me carefully. I will go to the boatload of soldiers and tell them, take me to your king. Take me to the capital and the palace of the king. And when they take me there, I'll challenge them. Bring all of the mullahs and the qazis and all of the priestly group of people and the whatever they call them in the Muslim group. And you get them all together to get one person to call the name of God in ecstatic love, and they will not be able to do it. I'll challenge them. And then I'll give them another challenge. I will go into the forest and take wild forest animals and bring them to the palace and induce them to chant the holy name in ecstatic love. Srivas, don't doubt it for a moment. Srivas, bring your niece, Narayani, bring her here at once, little girl. Like that little child that wanted to handle the harmonium. Little girl. And he brought Narayani. He said, Narayani, chant Krishna's name in love of God. And Narayani called out, Krishna! Chant again, Krishna! She started dancing and chanting again and again in ecstatic love of God. Srivas fell on the floor at Lord Caitanya's feet and said, I accept. My anxiety is all gone. You can take care of anything. You're the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You and your pastimes are completely transcendental. And you'll always protect your devotee. The heart of anyone who gives submission and oral reception to the pleasing and sweet pastimes of Caitanya immediately becomes cleansed of all material contamination. And their volumes, go to the gift shop and you'll see volumes of descriptions of wonderful pastimes of Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Anyone who simply chants the name of Sri Krishna Caitanya. We did that because when we sang the song. Sri Krishna Caitanya will immediately develop love of Godhead. I offer him all congratulations, saying, Bravo! I don't know what that is in Russian or Chinese or Swahili, but you get the idea. If anyone feels ecstasy and cries by simply hearing the transcendental qualities of Caitanya Mahaprabhu, he at once understands the eternal loving affairs between Radha and Krishna. This is one of our essential teachings about Lord Caitanya, that Lord Caitanya, although he's in the mood and the form of a devotee of Krishna, by his mercy one gets entrance into the understanding of the loving affairs between Radha and Krishna. This is the merciful Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Anyone who has understood that the associates of Lord Caitanya are eternally liberated souls immediately becomes eligible to enter into the abode of Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj in Vrindavan, in his next birth. This is a painting on the right that shows Lord Caitanya and his mridanga player and the kartal player, just like we were doing, and his other associates who are joining in the kirtan. And this very same mood of ecstatic love of Lord Caitanya is the same mood as the gopis as they were associating and singing with their musical instruments for their beloved Sri Krishna. Entering into this mood gives one entrance into this mood of love in the mood of Braja, the land of Vrindavan. If anyone understands there is no difference between Gour Mandala, that's where Lord Caitanya resides in the spiritual world, and there's no difference of that place in West Bengal from the spiritual abode of Sri Vrindavan, then he actually lives in Vrindavan. Now, there's another little PowerPoint presentation. Where's Goloka? Oh, excuse me, Gokula. Anyway, there's a verse in Sri Brahma Samhita that says, Goloka namni nijadamni chale chatasya Devi Maheshu Haridama Suteshu Teshu Te Te Prabhava Nihitasvi Hitaschayena Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. In that verse it says, the configuration of the material and spiritual sky is, at the bottom is where we are, unfortunately. And that's Devi Dham, the abode of Devi or Parvati. And above is the abode of Mahesh Dham, or Lord Shiva. That's in between, not exactly in this realm, not exactly in the Vaikuntha realm either. That's okay. That's okay. We'll do that. And then above Mahesh Dham is Hari Dham. Hari is the Lord of Vaikuntha. And then above the Vaikuntha realm is Goloka Dham. That's where Krishna resides. That's what's being spoken of here. That Goloka Dham, that's in the spiritual sky, has one part of it as the residence of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The residence of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Anyway, we need a traffic control person. Anyway, within that abode of Krishna called Goloka, there's a very large lotus flower upon which Radha and Krishna reside. It's their residence. And the petals of that lotus are the abodes of the gopis and the other residents of Vrindavan. And outside that region is what's called a quadrangular region or four-sided region called Sweta Dweep. Sweta means white, and Dweepa means island. It's the abode of Mathura and Dwarka, the abode of the other forms and the other residences of the other features of the Supreme Lord Krishna, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He resides eternally in the spiritual world, and like Krishna from time to time, yada yada hi dharmasya Glanir Bhavati Bharata, he comes and descends into this realm and exhibits these wonderful pastimes depicted here. And the transcendentalists understand that the abode of Lord Caitanya manifested here is the same as the abode of Lord Caitanya and Krishna in the spiritual realm. We had these other pictures, it'd be easy. Pictures make things easy. But anyway, that's what the verse is saying of Narottam Das Thakur. And here you see Lord Caitanya, and behind him are Radha and Krishna, because Lord Caitanya is, are you ready? Radha and Krishna in one form. What? Here's the verse. Wow, we got a lot of people back here. Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikratir Ladini Shaktir Asmat Ekatma Bhav Apibhuvi Pura Deha Veda Gatau Tau. That verse says, Radha Krishna, there's Radha Krishna, are eternally manifest in two forms. There they are, Radha Krishna, just like on the altar. Radha Krishna, Kishore Kisori, Radha Krishna. Eternally manifest in two forms. But the verse says, although two forms, it's one entity. One entity like the sun and the sunshine are one entity. Yes? The sun and the sunshine are inseparable. You don't find sunshine without sun. You don't find sun without sunshine. They're inseparable. But the shine is not the sun and the sun is not the shine, but they're inseparable. Like that, Radha is the energy and Krishna is the energetic. But one entity, eternally manifest as two forms. And the other part of that verse says, when those two forms become one form, same entity, one entity, manifesting one form. Krishna, in the mood of Radha and the complexion of Radha. What's Radha's complexion? Radha's complexion is golden, like molten gold. That kind of golden. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's complexion was molten gold. Same as Radha. And same mood, bhava, as Radha. And what was the mood or bhava of Radha? Intense love for Krishna. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught us how to experience and express that love that Radha has for Krishna. And who are we? We're little conditioned souls, struggling with our mind and senses in this dark Devi Dham. But he descended into Devi Dham to give us that. And the primary means for getting that was what we just did a while ago, chanting the holy name. And we're going to do it again too. Stick around. And come again next week and we do it again and again. Don't wait till next week. Come during the week and we do it during the week too. Multiple times. Anyone who takes pleasure in sporting within the waves of the ocean of Lord Caitanya's distribution of love of God immediately becomes a confidential devotee of Sri Sri Radha Madhava. It doesn't matter whether such a devotee is in the renounced order of life or whether he is a householder. If he is actually taking part in Lord Caitanya's Sankirtan activities and actually understanding what it is, that's why you have to go to the bookstore and get the books and read the books, so you can understand what it is, along with the chanting of the holy name, then such a person is always liberated. Narottam Das aspires for that anyone's association. And anyone means anyone. Doesn't matter. Caste, color, creed, gender, age, culture, language. Doesn't matter. Just meet these characteristics and Narottam wants your association. And we also want your association. We want to join together in the Sankirtan of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, congregationally chanting his holy name. one and all. And side by side, as Lord Caitanya did, along with chanting, he gave teachings. Primarily, he gave teachings to his devotees, who then wrote those teachings under his instruction to do so. And then those writings, mainly they were in Sanskrit, and then they've been very kindly translated by our founder Acharya or his followers under his order to do so. And the bookstore is filled with them. And here in the temple we have classes, morning and evening, on these teachings, Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. We don't have so many people here on Wednesday night as we have on Sunday night. But it would be nice if you could come. We'll share these same teachings and have the same Sankirtan and nice prasadam too, by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So the gift, I'll just end with this. The gift that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to give was the gift of love for Krishna in the mood of the residents of Vrindavan, which is a very, very special mood of intimacy, of love. He wanted to give it to everyone. And as he began distributing that love of God, something very miraculous happened. The storehouse of love of God, although distributing the contents, it should have gotten less contents, but the contents increased. The storehouse increased. So then he got his other associates to assist him. Help me distribute the contents. And as they helped distribute the contents, it became more and more. It started flooding in all directions. And he was very happy that love of God was flooding all over the place. And then he indicated it should go all over the world. And so Prabhupada helped take it all over the world. And Prabhupada, I'll share a little Prabhupada story. I'll end with this. Hot summer day in New York in July 1974. Prabhupada spoke in a very humble way about himself. He said, I was loitering in some dark corner of the universe, and my merciful spiritual master found me, and he made me fortunate. He said, take this teaching of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, receive it very nicely, and give it to others. So my life has become fortunate. And following the instruction of Chaitanya, following the instruction of Lord Caitanya and my spiritual master, I've come to the Western countries. Following the order of my spiritual master, I found you loitering in some dark place, and now I've made you fortunate. Jai Prabhupada. And then he said, and now I'm requesting each of you, take this wonderful message of Lord Caitanya and the chanting of the holy name, and go here and there and find others loitering in some dark place and give them the chanting of the holy name and this message of Lord Caitanya and make their lives fortunate. So here we are, becoming fortunate. And then, on behalf of my spiritual master, our founder Acharya, I'll ask you, take this message. Receive it in your heart, just like Narottam is saying. Receive it fully within your heart. And then go forward, find other people loitering in some dark corner of the universe and give them this wonderful process of chanting and the message of Krishna. And make them fortunate. And who are any of us to do any of this? We're like little insignificant nothings. So we're insignificant, but the instruction is significant. The mercy coming from Lord Caitanya, very significant. Please take it seriously. Those who take this seriously, you'll become fortunate and others will become fortunate. Exactly what Bhaktisiddhanta said to Srila Prabhupada. All it takes is one sincere soul to let that go into your heart, and your life will become completely transformed. You don't have to change your situation of life. You don't have to give up something or something. Just take this message, bring it into your heart, receive the mercy of Lord Caitanya, and become the most fortunate person. And Narottam Das Thakur and we will desire your association very, very much. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki. Gaur Premanandi. Gaur. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. We are going to have a drama being presented by our young devotees.
Oh.
So we need some space here. I would request the devotees to kindly move back a little bit. Prasadam will be served not before 8:15. So please don't go up. Stay here. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Haribo, what's your name? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj.
You're seeing me.
Great lecture. Great lecture. Like you said, I'm going to give it my all.
Eh?
By the way, so things are getting very rough.
Okay.
Chanting is still every day since January. I'm still at 2 rounds, but I'm still chanting.
Okay, that's good. Change every day.
I'm chanting 4 rounds.
Okay.
We have to start looking for places to relocate based on jobs. We're planning to look for places where
Close to work. Your situation here has changed?
I mean, I have to start applying for jobs in the next few months.
And it's going to be somewhere else other than here, yes?
Yes, other than Russia. It could be in Chicago. I would look for places in Chicago, anywhere where you visit.
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay.
That's our criteria. But we want to be in a place where you visit.
Or at least if that even any of them want. If so demands, then we can at least be in a temple, a place where there's a strong devotee group.
I think I'm seated on the ladies'
Okay,
side.
sorry.
We'll take that.
Yeah. Very good idea.
You can go in the front and sit so you can see. Didi, Ajay.
Testing, testing.
Sit in and say it.
Yeah, because it's more better.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. Dang, that was so embarrassing. I had to test this. The voice came in the speaker.
Try it.
Should we go?
Everyone pay attention.
What am I? Should I go?
Set, go.
Long ago there lived a young Brahmin named Ajamila who had all good qualities. Ajamila always controlled his mind, never spoke frivolous words, and was a faithful husband to his faithful wife, to his young wife. Every morning he would dutifully go and pick fruit, flowers, and kusha grass in service to his elderly mother and father. What'd you say? Leave now. I must control my mind. In the same way that the sun or the moon becomes eclipsed by a low planet, Ajamila disputed his brahminical training, felt the waking of lusty desires within his heart. An illusion, Ajamila fell under their control.
You're home. You're home, my husband. You're home, my husband. Please sit down and let me bring your lunch. Is something troubling you?
No!
No! Have I done something wrong?
I told you no! Stop bothering! Just leave me alone!
You've never yelled me like this before. Has something happened that is disturbing you?
No, nothing. Actually, while I was walking out and collecting flowers, I guess I saw something that I really wanted.
What has transformed you so?
Transform me? No, it's just that I decided that you have to not work so hard. My dear wife, you need a maidservant. Yes, a maidservant to help you stay in the house with us. Because his intelligence was bewildered by lust of the prostitute, Ajamil took her into his house as a maidservant. He soon abandoned all the regulated principles of a Brahmana and became degraded. Engaging in sinful acts with the prostitute, Ajamil did teach his beautiful, chaste wife. Ajamil,
Yes, my darling.
what have you brought today? Some gifts and presents for your pleasure. Oh, these are nice. What else have you brought me? Only some news. My father's dead. So? He's left me an inheritance. That is great news. Yes, and it all will be spent for your pleasure. I'm flattered. Oh, I'm not trying to flatter you. Just be pleased with me. In the time Ajamila became addicted to forbidden acts in order to satisfy the prostitute and to maintain their many children, plundering, gambling, and cheating, he thus allowed his life to speed by until his 80th year. Come, my friend, sit down here. What do you think of a little game of dice? Sure, I'll play with you. How much money would you like to bet this time? Oh, not much? That is very good. 7. I won again. What? Yes. Yes. 7. I won again. No. I'll tell you what. Let's double our bets this time. No, not double. Yes, 7. I'd like you to meet some of my sons. Sons? Take him out of here! Drag him! Take this money and give it to your mother. Let her buy something nice for herself. Maybe some silk or gold. And also bring your younger son, your younger brother, Narayan. Although my other sons help me in business, you, Narayan, give me the most pleasure in my old age. Oh, son, this type of drink isn't for you. Now go, be with your mother.
Bye, 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 bye.
10 sons, many daughters. Narayan's the best of all. I know how to keep my wife happy, and he knows how to keep me happy. Narayan, Narayan,
We forbid you from touching the towel. What? Assistant trying to steal away Ajamila's soul. Who do you think you are? We will punish you severely if you do not stop.
We are the messengers of the Lord of the dead, and no one has ever dared shine his before all of my way.
You claim to be the messengers of Yamaraj, but you yourselves do not know the principles of religion.
Who are you? Where have you come from? Why are you forbidding us to touch the body of sinful Ajamil?
Ajamil's not sinful, he's sinless. We have heard from our master Yamaraj that Narayana and the class have everything that's given us the Vedas. Those who obey the Vedas those who disobey the Vedas are irreligious. We now drag sinful Ajamil for his purification. Your demand to punish a sinless person is painful to hear. Because Ajamil has chanted the holy name of Narayana, he is now pure and eligible for liberation.
But Ajamil was not even chanting the holy name of the Lord. He was only tearfully crying for his son.
He still said the 4 syllables Narayana. By chanting Narayan, Ajamil destroyed sinful reactions for millions of lifetimes. The Lord's holy names are like fire. One's awareness of fire is irrelevant. Fire still burns. The Lord's holy names can purify whether one is aware of their power or not.
We are the messengers of the Lord of the dead, and we still consider Ajamil sinful, despite his chanting Narayana, singing, chanting, singing, he must be punished.
Although Ajamil did sin, he was not thinking, I will sin, then become purified by the Lord's names. No, that would be offensive. He simply chanted Narayana again and again to continuously call his son, and his continuous chanting purified him. Because Ajamil chanted the Lord's names offensively while dying, he is no longer subject to go to hell to pay for his past sinful deeds. You must leave Ajamil here.
Go! Let's go! The Yamadutas, unable to take the Ajamil, flee to their master in a fearful state. Oops.
That was scary.
My mic. I need
Lord Yamaraj, we have been defeated. We could not get Ajamil.
Some beautiful foreign person stopped us. Who were they? My dear servants, you are just like my sons. Those were the Vishnudutas, the supreme servants of Lord Narayan. You could not stop them because they're almost as powerful as the Lord himself. But why did they stop us? Ajamil was sinful and irreligious. True religion comes directly from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. No one can know true religious principles unless they are learned from the Lord or his empowered servants. What is the use of our judging a man sinful if someone else would judge him sinless? Shouldn't there be one standard and one judge? My dear servants, I shall explain everything to you. Although sinful, Ajamil chanted the holy names of the Lord, only to call his son. Nevertheless, by chanting Narayana, he remembered Lord Narayan and was immediately freed from all and was saved from being dragged to hell by your ropes of death. Such is the potency of the holy name.
My dear Lord Yamaraj, what would you like us to do now?
My dear servants, in the future, do not approach devotees. No one can chastise devotees, not even me. Only bring me those that do not chant Hare Krishna. Leave the devotees alone. After hearing the glorification of the Lord's holy name, the Yamadutas were struck with wonder. Since then, as soon as the Yamadutas see a devotee, they fear him and do not look at him again. My mother and father were Brahmins and had no other son. How ungrateful I was, and after leaving them for plundering, cheating, and illicit sex, I stood commended, about to be ripped from my body, but I was saved. Where have my saviors gone? Will I ever see those lotus-eyed servants of Lord Vishnu? I must become Krishna conscious.
Blessed by his association with the Vishnudutas, Ajamil detached himself from material life with determination. Free from all material affection, he immediately left home for Haridwar. Upon arriving, Ajamil took shelter of the Vishnu temple, controlled his senses, applied his mind to the service of the Lord, and became fully absorbed in thinking of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. At that time, the Brahmana Ajamil once again saw the celestial person.
Oh, you have returned.
Yes, we went away just to fix you in meditation on the Lord. Now we have to take you back home to Godhead.
Thus, Ajamila has been awarded as transcendental from exactly resembling the Vishnudutas, boarding an airplane made of gold. Passing through the airways, he went directly through the abode of Lord Vishnu. Because this narration about Ajamila has the potency to extinguish all sinful reactions, one who hears it or describes it with faith and devotion is no longer doomed to hellish life, regardless of how sinful he may have been, and after giving up his present body, such a faithful soul returns back home, back to Godhead.
Okay, Hare Krishna. So this is our Sunday school. We have down there this Hemangi. She was the sun. Satya played the Yamaduta. Lalita played Narayan. Rocky was the narrator. And Krishna Kirtan was also narrator. Okay, Prahlad Narasimha was Ajamil. And Pradyumna was Ajamil's friend. And Kisori was Yamaraj. And then Mahesh and Krish were sons. And Rudra was a son. And Jayant was a son. And Jagannath was Ajamil in the beginning and then a Yamadut at the end. Meghna played the Vishnuduta. And there's Kiran played a Vishnuduta. Rani played Yamaduta. Daya was the prostitute. And Anjali was Ajamil's wife. Sanya was Vishnuduta. Vedant was the son. And Sita helped with the props and the music. Okay. So we thank you very much and we pray for all your blessings so that we get Lord Caitanya's blessings today and that we may somehow get a taste for chanting because we've gotten this at such a young age. We're very lucky. Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. It's all working, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Let's give them a big hand to Sham Saki Mataji also. Sham Saki Mataji. Thank you. Yeah. Now we'll have a short bhajan presented by also Sunday school students. Rina Mahapatra Mataji, she trains our young devotees in music. They are learning harmonium and singing bhajans from her. So those of you who are interested to send your kids to her, you can contact her after the bhajan, or she's available every Sunday here in the temple. You may contact her in case you would like to send your children to her. Thank you so much. This is the last item, and after that we'll be serving prasadam. Thank you.
Oh yeah, you're really good.
I have an idea. Put it up so everyone can hear it.
Yeah, I'll keep it consistent.
No,
Because
like this. No putting your face close, okay? Padmashri, no putting your face too close. That's it.
They're like little bells.
there she's sitting.
Shri Hari Kirtanam
Thank you so much. Thank you. Prashadam is served upstairs. Thank you.